This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Field Marshal Walls has his golden rule: mind your own damn business until we tell you what your business is and then make you pay for it. Kamala also has a life lesson she learned from dear old mom that contrasts her from Trump and Vance and their nattering nabob of negativism routine.
You know, our opponents in this race are out there every day denigrating America, talking about how terrible everything is. Well, my mother had another lesson she used to teach. Never let anyone tell you who you are. You show them who you are.
My grandma told me that, too, back in the day. Very original.
America, let us show each other and the world who we are and what we stand for.
I mean, life is more miserable for the average American because of the policies that she and Joe Biden put in place. She can't separate herself from him.
I mean, that is another one of those res ipsa loquitur clips. If you are not filling in the commentary in your own mind, then there's nothing I can do to help. A good piece by Hadley Arkus, who is a wonderful academic, now professor emeritus from Amherst College on American jurisprudence and institutions. I love movie metaphors even when I'm not making them. He makes the point about Kamala in comparing her to the Lena Lamont character in Singin' in the Rain, the Gene Kelly classic. Have you seen it?
I have seen it, but it was a long, long time ago.
You saw it when it first came out in theaters?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I went with your parents.
Date night?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Date night.
Miss Harris is our Lena Lamont. If you remember, Lena Lamont, sort of like Milli Vanilli, to update the reference. Lamont's songs are dubbed while she lip syncs, right? And then ultimately she's exposed as not exactly having the voice of a songbird. And so he suggests that this is what is going to happen with Kamala when it comes to her time unscripted behind a podium in an open debate format. That she knows the words but can't hear the music. The words that she speaks are not hers for the most part, other than maybe the biography piece of it. But there's not going to be much biography at the debates. Or if you try to infuse biography in lieu of answer to policy questions, it's going to come off as a bit ham-handed. Maybe, but that's going to be up to Trump. And Trump does have a job to do on September 10th. He can't just show up and sit back and allow her to offer sort of non sequitur responses to softball questions from ABC moderators pretending to be journalists who are actually de facto comm staff. He's got a job to do going into the debate a couple of weeks from now. For more on all of this, what has transpired the past week and what is yet to come, pleased to be joined by venerable Chicago newsman John Kass, he now of johnkassnews.com. John Kass, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Hey, Dan and Amy, I love it when you call me a venerable Chicago newsman because I think of all the lefties back home, the trolls in Chicago, freaking out and gnashing their teeth and screaming at the radio.
Yes.
Yeah. I love it here in Green Acres, Indiana, where I don't have to wear a stick on my hip to go get my insulin at the Walgreens. Yeah.
Give our regards to Arnold Ziffel. So what's your net of the New Bolsheviks' performance this week?
They screamed about freedom, right? Freedom. Like Buttigieg, Mayor Pete test marketed freedom the other day when he came out with the Democratic notion for the P hats of freedom is abortion, right, for men. Remember that?
Yeah.
That kind of disappeared a little bit. I keep wondering, when will Trump drop the plagiarism charge on Kamala in the debate? Because she plagiarized Martin Luther King in her classic freedom story, didn't she?
Yeah, but she excised it from the acceptance speech last night.
It didn't make it, yeah.
Well, I mean, I mean, what do you think? I mean, obviously, the coverage is reminiscent of the Obama coverage as the Messiah who has come back to save us.
Right.
But I mean, what's your feel on how Middle America is going to react to that?
I don't think there were any specifics in this speech last night or for the whole week. I mean, basically, they've been using the memory hole overtime, stuffing all the dead bodies from Chicago homicides in it, and the 50 million or 20 million illegals that came across the border into it. I mean, someday the American people will wake up and see that they've been had, but I don't think they're ready to wake up yet.
Well,
I mean, right now they're coasting on a sugar high, and it's like letting little kids. What do you want for breakfast, kids? Sugar post Trixies or whatever the hell they are, Cocoa Krispies or whatever, and that's what they choose every time, don't they? They choose the sugar.
Yeah, but weren't you drained of hearing about everybody's abortions? I mean, every night they had somebody up there talking about their abortion.
Yeah, did they have any abortions at their little abortion mill truck?
They did.
All of them were on?
So I went there and I sat and I waited for this doctor to come out. But they performed 2 mastectomies, not 10 each day, and the rest were slots for abortions. And they did perform up to 20 or maybe possibly 25 abortions. But it was very ghoulish. It was very odd. And he said that some of the slots were filled by people who didn't show up.
And Michelle Obama got a vasectomy.
Okay, those memes. I mean, I was told about those memes. I didn't even see them, and it was even too rough for me. My sensibilities. I'm too sensitive of a person.
I want to get
Michelle that way.
I want to get your reaction to actually this rant that Fredo Cuomo went on, of all people.
Oh, this is good.
Fredo Cuomo from the convention floor, reporting for News Nation, and he states something that we all know all too well about corporate rent-seeking and, as you call it, the combine. Take a listen.
But there's another reality that is literally looking down on them. Greg, look at the ring of suites, okay? This is not unique to Democrats. There is a game of money. When people talk about uniparty, we are strangled by the money reality in our politics. Those suites start at $500,000. You think there's like a teacher group up in there? You think it's like the Cub Scouts of Columbia County, South Carolina, that's up in those boxes? Some of them are lobbies and good things. The media boxes, you think they're free? Why do you think I'm on the floor? News Nation is not a broke company. Nexstar is a massive organization. We are corporate media. We don't have one of those boxes because that's the game. You pay to play. Those boxes are filled with the same people that they say they're going to regulate. They are literally looking down on the faithful and being told, yeah, we're going to break down on them. We're going to make them pay their share. They paid $500,000, $700,000, $1 million, $1.5 million to have those seats. They get hotel suites that are probably gifted to the party. And the same thing is true with the Republican side. And they're going to take them down. They're going to change how it is. They are looking down from on high at the people who make the difference in their communities. And that is the reality of politics.
It was a rather nice metaphor. Corporate titans looking down while they prattle on. They put Comrade Bernie up there to prattle on about billionaires and millionaires and Trump and his rich friends and so on and so forth.
All you needed was the knife fight scene from Dune 2, because it's the same thing that we're seeing now, as Fredo explained. The combine continues. All right, and the Democrats who pretended that they were part of the people are now they're part of the bicoastal elite. They're the people that protect the privilege. They're the ones at the top of the rock heap for the apes,
Right.
the planet of the apes.
But yet they're
on the top.
trying to get middle America back. And I say that because I haven't covered a lot of DNC conventions. I've watched a lot on TV. I've never seen so many American flags and posters that said "Go USA." Have you ever seen that, John Kass?
I've never seen, and I've been covering conventions since New York, the New York convention of Bill Clinton and all the ones through that. Mm-hmm. And I've never seen them wear camo hats.
Yep.
And
play country music.
And have country accents like AOC did, and all that. I've never seen that. And USA Today, I've never seen USA as a chant at the Democratic National Convention ever.
Well, I mean, it's all just costumes and mascots. It's play acting. If their representatives can do it, the rank and file apparatchiks certainly can play along, and they know better than not to. I just love the idea, though. The media grumbling about the usurious prices being charged and so on and so forth. I mean, right? But what Cuomo said, I mean, he sort of lurched into the obvious, but it's nice to hear from somebody like him who's been part of that combine, part of that DC press corps. That it's basically all rigged. This is all show. These aren't media organizations covering a convention. These are essentially professional comm shops that are promoting a party. Oh, and the Republicans do it too, except they have very few outlets that are oriented towards their electoral interests, and the ones that are transparent about it. They're not pretending not to be. So that's the big difference. Because when Cuomo was talking, it just is a reminder that what P.J. O'Rourke observed, that as long as buying and selling is controlled by legislation, the first thing to be bought and sold will be legislators, and that's exactly what we have now. He also made the point that 20 years ago, the total spend on presidential election was $300 million. This year, it's going to be upwards of $10 billion. So what does that tell you about the Uniparty, as it's called?
Well, it tells me somebody's making money on this deal. It's clearly not the newspapers. They're not making money. They're giving their product away for $1 a year or something the last time I checked. But but somebody's making money. TV is making money. They're rolling in it. Just like Arnold Zippel's pig, rolling in it.
John Kass, JohnKassNews.com, where you get lively opinions from John and a host of other contributors, occasionally myself.
Oh.
I'm waiting for the Dan Proft column on sentimental barbarism.
Oh yes.
Because now we're in you hinted at it all week, because we're in this phase where she's not being held to account. There's no specifics. All it is joy and hope and sentiment. And what happens when to a people that become used to sentiment and loving it?
Yes, sentimentality.
Yeah,
winds you up in the gas chamber, as Flannery O'Connor observed. Well, maybe I'll get to that. I'll get to that over the weekend if I can.
Yeah,
if I get my short game in order, then I'll.
We're waiting.
Yeah.
Hey, I've written 4 columns this week. That's like the old days. I mean, I'm tired. This is a hard convention for me.
All right.
I'm walking on a cane. I've got to,
Dan, help your friend out.
Yeah. All right. Okay, old man Kass. All right.
And get a haircut, damn it.
Oh, I think he's trying to repel women at this point in time.
I don't need long hair to do that.
Well, it's not really helping.
Stop the mullet. Really?
Stop the mullet. Hashtag stop the mullet.
I'm going for the Gaius Baltar look from Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hey.
What's with the...
He's always with us.
The potty mouth. Mr. Kass, please. John.
I had Steve the pilot and John and me and Betty and Steve's wife. We went to lunch, and the big subject at lunch was over cacio e pepe was Dan Proft's mullet. The mullet of Dan Proft. Yeah. Cut it off,
we
Dan.
should-
I'm waiting until it gets its own Twitter account. Then
That's
I'll
what I
cut
was
it
going to
off.
say. We
Oh,
should get a
God.
Twitter.
Yeah.
What would the mullet of Dan Proft, or what would the handle be on your Twitter?
I don't know. The locks of love. John
God,
Kass,
gonna vomit.
JohnKassNews.com. Thanks as always, John. Appreciate it.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer.
Your show keeps me alive during the week. There's nobody I'd rather listen to between 5 and 9 in the morning than you guys.
On AM 560. The Answer.
This is Sean Thompson. When you go on vacation, does it make sense to have somebody else pack for you? Of course not. The same can be said for your retirement. Your 401k could be packed with things you don't know about or even need. If you're close to retirement, but you don't have a plan customized to your goals, it's like kind of taking a 30-year vacation with no idea what's in the suitcase. Sounds like a stressful way to begin what should be a